We're back. We're live. We're resurrected. There are no technical additional difficulties. You've got no idea what you're talking about. People that do know what they're talking about, though, are the two people that are with me on this screen here. And that's going to be Lexi, also known as Mass Swan, and of course Sam, initialized Hapgood, my brother, and of course I am Alex Nymera Hapgood. We just covered Burning Core versus CJ, one of the hallmarks of the LJL matchups today, and of course across the LJL as a whole. We're going straight into Burning Core versus Sengoku, though. So, in what has turned out to be a quite strong week of quite a strong strength of schedule for Burning Core, they've taken their first win. Do you think they can take another one, guys?
Possibility. Definitely a possibility, though this is definitely going to be a harder match in my eyes.
And Sam?
Well, we're here in the capital of the LJL, Bar Sing Se, where there are in fact no technical difficulties. And in a city like this, Burning Core can certainly find another win. We've kind of seen once run over games off good early games, and if you can get into Blank's head, outpath the pathing jungler, then maybe there'll be room for them to get under Sengoku's skin, who kind of are reliant on Blank to be shadowing lanes and keeping information up for particularly Pyrion in the mid lane to play safe.
But one thing which I'm a little bit worried about Burning Core, though, is that, of course, they've shown that they can walk the walk when it comes to the team fight. They did that versus CG, and they did that with a Plum after a rampant early game. Can they do that, though, versus the split map plays of Sengoku? They've been playing out global after global. They've been playing stuff like Camille, split pushes as well, and they've been trying to tear open that map, whilst also having that option to team fight as well. What's your guys' take on the way that Burning Core might have to deal with this more split map?
It's going to be tricky. I think Ray Farkey has been playing very well last few games, so there is at least room for someone to be playing pressure in a side lane. And if Yutori Mashi can find his way onto an Aphelios and take Yuki off that, things look a little bit risky. We did see Burning Core go towards a global comp versus DFM and fight pretty well, at least come back with some answers in that mid game before it kind of all fell away off AD carry difference. So they have some response to the global comp, but there are definitely issues because I think Sengoku Gaming will play it better, Pyrion in particular.
Pyrion in particular. But Lexi, I do want to get your thoughts on that too. Particularly because this draft phase will be very interesting to see whether it will be towards those more split plays or more those team fight comps as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of options open on the map. We've seen things like Gangplank come out in this kind of fight where a lot of globals coming out. That Galio is going to be a contested pick. We already saw Yujo have an amazing first game today on that Galio. High priority is going to be, Ornn's going to be important for team fights as well as that kind of far wider spectrum that they can grab. We're going to be seeing a lot of different champions potentially be seen. We could be seeing Proud on a Shen support. Definitely a viable thing to see. There's so many different globals that could come out, and both of these teams, we saw Burning Core just show they definitely can play split, which means Sengoku can play split, which means lots could happen.
And on that note, I want to try something out with you guys. So, Sam, I want you to tell me a story, and this is going to be a story of Burning Core have just won this game. You have 1 minute to tell me how they won this game. Your time starts now.
Was a great and powerful victory for the overlords of Burning Core, who won through their general and great warrior once, who destroyed the evil former emperor of the jungle Blank with the assistance of his trusty top laner Ray Farkey. To bring it back a little bit, yeah, I think it will be Once and Ray Farkey who will have destroyed the early game, found their way into the jungle, meant the Blank couldn't get the information needed, left Pyrion on an island, left Apperman on an island. He also had a Aphelios somehow, some way.
And he does it with time to spare as well.
So let's see, how will Sengoku win this game on their own terms?
Okay, so quick smart. Okay, so Yutori Marashi is going to hard carry this. NT is going to basically deny any idea of Proud actually gaining a carry opportunity through a lot of his champions. That set and Thresh isn't going to be on the table for him. Why? Because NT is going to take the Thresh away. They're going to ban the set because so many different people on the side of Burning Core can play it. Next thing. Once gets completely shut down in the jungle, Blank basically is the Blank Knight and says no to that. Yu-Gi-Oh in the mid lane, that rookie in the mid lane is going to have no chance because guess who's in the mid lane? Freaking Pyrion, man! No chance for it! Apperman is currently claiming the top spot and that potentially taking Ray Farkey's crown in that second best top laner in the thing outside of Evie. So I think Apperman could totally beat Ray Farkey in the 1v1. That means Sengoku just say
20 seconds.
nice play, everybody, but I've got time to spare because you know who's the rap god? Me, apparently, because I can go talk just as fast as our play-by-play caster, and I've got time to spare still. 3, 2, 1, I'm done. Sengoku win, easy peasy, 18-3.
And he does it with time to spare, but as much as I like my story time, I am going to have to ask for predictions after hearing each other's take on this particular matchup, though. So, guys, what are your predictions? Sam, we'll start off with you.
Sengoku Gaming.
Sengoku's going to win for Sam. Lexi, you just told the story. Do you believe your own storytelling?
Not to the 18-3 I said at the end, but yes, I believe Sengoku will win.
And that makes 3 of us as well. I'm going to join you guys on that particular boat. Sengoku have looked very strong. And of course, they did drop that game over to CGA in that last week. And what a crazy affair that was. But Sengoku, most of the time, their games are business as usual. They play the games in a very robust way, and they tend to close out very effectively when they're ahead. I think we should probably dive in while we've still got some time left while we're waiting for the players to get into Champions League to talk about Once versus Blank, though. Actually, no, we don't, because Champions League's right there. I've been baited, I've been outsmarted, I've been outpathed by the LJL stream, and I'm going to have to leave you guys. Enjoy yourselves.
Thank you so much, Nightmare. Lexi, buddy, I'm going to have to word with our union because my job security's in danger. I don't like you pulling this rap god thing, man. That's not acceptable to me as a play-by-play, but we'll have that conversation off screen with my lawyer present. Until then, we've got Bernie Core versus Sengoku Gaming to contend ourselves with. It will be Bernie Core on the blue side once again, and that will be Rayfarki once, Yu-Gi-Oh, Yuhi and Proud rounding out that roster.
And for Sengoku, we've got Appamen, Blank, Pirian, Yutori Moashi, and NT. All of them can play each other's champions because they're just that good. And yeah, we can have a conversation about that. I didn't mean to intimidate you too far, but you know what you said about Yuki getting this Aphelios? It's done and happened, and huge jungle priority bans over onto Once as well.
And the prophecy is beginning to be fulfilled, but it's
the prophecy.
Oh God.
He's here. The production is ever present. The response, of course, from Sengoku Gaming will be the Ashe, which we have started to see as something of a pick into this Aphelios in particular. Blank will pick up the Lee Sin. That's the 4th jungler take away from Once, and he did look pretty good on that Lee Sin. So maybe it's Aphelios for Yuhi, but what does Once have left to go towards?
So there's Trundle still open. Trundle's still fine into a few matchups. Oh my. I mean, I'll be honest, I would prefer to see Evelyn here. In a lot more spots.
So would I. For no reason other than I like that champion.
No reason. It's not like you hard carried me in a few games yesterday, so I definitely would be okay with it. But we're going to see a Xin Zhao come out. I don't think we've seen a Xin Zhao globally, outside of maybe the LPL. I think I can only think of maybe one LPL game, actually.
Okay, so it will be the Lulu lock-in as well.
Production.
Who's on that. But we once did go towards the Xin Zhao a couple times in spring. Looked pretty good on it. They didn't get any wins, but his early games were kind of crazy, particularly against, I think it was one of the CGA games again, where he went nuts in Yoshi's jungle. And came out to crazy early leads. It wasn't enough in the end, but it's another early game jungler. Can fight with the Lee Sin, and you can take many picks away from Once. But it turns out you can't take away all the early game junglers.
Can't take all of them out, but Blank's going to be pretty happy with the spot. We saw what Blank was doing on Lee Sin last week and the week before. This man's Lee Sin is beautiful. Pirian also picks up the Azir, and Yu-Gi-Oh goes back to I believe a week 2 special on that Lulu where he went 0-0 and 18 on this pick when Burning Core did win a game. So lots of options open here. Quick and fast bans coming through. Galio and Jace for Sengoku. Bench the Kench Burning Core did not want to do, and Thresh as well.
Ways to keep the Ashe safe, you'll note, which can be nice to go towards. The lock-in for Sengoku is Appamen's ever-present Aatrox. Man has played more Aatrox than pretty much any other champion, it feels like. We'll have to see what the response is from Burning Core. They've got to think probably a support, unless Proud is going to pick up the Lulu, which, you know, is a possibility, another way to keep the Aphelios safe. But perhaps something like a Bard, always an option. I doubt the Sejuani is locked in, but this is Burning Core, and I've been proved wrong before.
It would make no sense because of because you could play Sejuani top, but it's so bad into so many different things, especially into an Aatrox who's just gonna bully her senselessly. Okay, so I'm assuming this is going to be Proud on this set. We've seen his set before, so many options like you were saying. This Renekton hover's fine. I don't mind it. I'm not huge on it, but Ray Farkeon playing it does make me feel a little bit more comfortable with it. Oh, but the Wukong's still up. Yeah, of course. Yeah, just play the better version of Aatrox. Yeah.
And we haven't seen Ray Farke's Wukong yet, so I'm pretty excited to see that. It's a great team fight carry, and according to Licorice, at least, who did a bit of a dive in one of the interviews over into the matchup of Wukong Aatrox over in the LCS a couple of weeks ago, said basically, if you trade, right, it should be pretty non-interactive, and you both come up pretty even, and Wukong just team fights better right now. So that could be strong. Last pick for Enti, though, Mass Swamp, will be the Bard to pair up with the Ashe. Double slows and double stuns with Cosmic Bindings and arrows to come through.
Yeah, it's a lane we are starting to see become far more common. Either a Thresher, a Bard, or a Nautilus is a common pairing that you give to the Ashe, and I love Bard with the pairing. It just offers so many options. The CC control, you can prevent ganks from coming in, as well as also engage yourself. You've got disengage, re-engage, so many options. Sengoku love to play options. We're going to be seeing a lot. I'll allow you to correct yourself on the Ray Farke Wukong thing as well.
Has he already played it before?
He has, against CGA. Way back in week 1. I can forgive you. Okay. Production can't forgive you, but I can forgive you.
Okay. I wasn't sure what that was. It was production talking about the Xin Zhao, maybe, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, no, we've never seen the Xin Zhao. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you win that one.
I apologize. I was wrong. Production is right. Production is always right, and production is telling me it was both. In fact, so I was just wrong in general. So we'll leave that there. There was the Xin Zhao versus CGA way back in spring. There was the Wukong for Ray Farke way back versus CGA earlier on in this split as well.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a hell of a team fight comp from Burning Core once again. Everyone dives in, namely the Xin Zhao, the Wukong, and the Set, with a Lulu to buff them up and an Aphelios in the back line. For Sengoku Gaming, though, I am seeing not a dissimilar luck, but with a little bit more pick with the global engages, semi-global engages from the Ashe and the Bard, with the Lee Sin kicks, with the shuffles from an Azir as kind of another option there as well. A little bit more pick heavy for Sengoku Gaming, perhaps.
A huge important part of this game is going to be Proud on this set. If Proud finds spots into the lineup of Sengoku Gaming, there's going to be a lot of options open up in team fights. But if Proud doesn't make those fights, it's going to become far more difficult, as we're getting an angry man saying, "Game on!" You know what time it is.
Oh, yes, we do. We're on to the Rift, and we've got some potentially interesting matchups to keep an eye on. I will personally be having my eyes all over these junglers. They are junglers that want to get things done early on in the game. We've got a couple lanes with setup to do it. I'm seeing, frankly, setup in nearly every lane. So, level 6 hits for those top laners, and things start getting dicey. You're starting to see how many slows, how many stuns can the bot lanes put out. Hell, Polymorph isn't a bad gank tool if wants to think about mid lane as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yuhi, you're getting a little bit... Okay. I'm just a little bit just getting a little bit scared there. I don't want to see Yuhi dying early on, because we've seen that before, and it doesn't paint the game in a great light when that happens very early on. A bit poke, but we should be alright. Here.
Yeah, Cosmic Binding comes out, but so does the Facebreaker, and it's trade onto an Aphelios who can heal up because he's got Severum first. That's the way that champion works.
Mm-hmm.
It was junglers starting on top side of the map, both of them, that is, so they will both be looking to path down towards this bot side. It'll be the red buff into blue side clear for the Lee Sin, whereas it'll be the full blue side clear for Once, who will probably be looking for the red buff afterwards. And keep your eyes on that 3-minute 15 marker when both junglers will be looking to gank. Push is in favor of Sengoku in this bot side, though.
Yeah, push is going to be in favor, and this is just a different lane that we're seeing coming through. Playing Bard along with the Ashe, not what we saw from CGA, just really lets you just play far more aggressively onto the Aphelios in the early few levels, especially when they've got a set as a support. They can't really have that backup that you do get from a Thresh, so it's going to be aggressive. Once and Blank both level 3, already done both their buffs, as you said. Obviously, Blank coming in for an invade, but it's going to be spotted on this ward, and there's not going to be a huge amount of options around this. Interesting runes coming out. Yuki back onto the Conqueror, but last game went press the attack. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think it was the lethal tempo. But
lethal tempo. My apologies. Yes, thank you.
Point stance, you are correct. He's going to be back to the Conqueror. I guess a little bit more healing he's after with the Conqueror would be my thinking. Seeing the AI vote come in as well, it's another one of those 47 to 53 votes against Burning Core. And early on in this game, the shove has kind of been, at least in the bot side, in favor of Sengoku Gaming, a little bit more even in the mid and top lanes. Once, though, going to be heading towards this top side Scuttle Crab as Blank does the same around the bot side. Going to see what these junglers can get done. Currently, not been all that much on these first red buffs.
No, once coming up, though, going to have a look. Apperman's already used their potion, so not much coming out.
Top lane ganks coming in, so yeah, you're right. Apperman in a bit of danger here. May have to try and flash. The ward comes in, and that's just once going in. Dives in, first blood over the Wukong, easy as you like. No, you need to use any more than a charge in from Xin Zhao. And it is that top lane we said needed to get going. The top 2-0 from Burning Core once, and Ray Farkey coming up to an early lead here.
I almost felt like Ray Farkey could do that on his own. That was just a lot of damage that just came out of Ray Farkey. This is important to note. This is 10.12 Wukong. So a lot of the nerves that are coming in for Wukong, well deserved, I feel, hasn't hit. So this is still the monstrosity where basically every region is playing this to some level and picking up a lot of wins through it as Once is coming back.
And Apperman does still have flash, may need to burn it. Does get knocked up, though. There's the wind becomes lightning, but no more to be found. Once traded his flash there, but didn't really have the damage because he's still on a machete.
Yeah.
Has not backed yet, so not sure what he was hoping to find there. The flash out of Apperman is definitely something, though. And now with that top laner down, both the flash and the teleport could be a little bit risky. Bot lane, though, is still a shove in for Sengoku Gaming, up to a big CS lead down here, Maswat.
Huge CS lead in the bot lane, huge CS lead in the mid lane, and parity in the top lane. Gold is equal, well, barely equal, and that's partly just due to First Blood Gold. Not going ideal in this bot lane, but Proud.
Oh, we're going to see a bit of an engage go in. That's a decent amount of damage, but there is still Guardian on for the Bard, and health packs abound, so not much more to be found there.
Once wasn't actually spotted on that ward. Blank's actually going to secure the first dragon. Jeez, okay. Hasn't actually found much, but then top lane only got a gank and then hasn't really gained much more out of that. And Once is still behind Blank at the moment, so worth noting. Yeah,
that's kind of the late recall coming in from Once, and it did mean that Blank got free time, and that's another good face breaker, though. Utorimi actually taking pretty low, but Yuhi has now got to cleanse pretty low himself. Here comes the Xin Zhao, though. The Haymaker's not bad, but look who else is here. It's Blank looking for the counter gank. Here is the exhaust. That is going to be the kill now onto Xin Zhao, who went down there. It's Bard who picks up the kill, which is not necessarily who you want, but he flashes in for a double at NT. Coming up to be the true carry for Sengoku Gaming.
Was there any doubt? Bard knows all of your numbers, for he is the entity that is not quite sure what he is in canon, honestly. He doesn't really make much sense what he is canonically, but got the double kill there, and the counter gank from Blank there was just huge, as Once has found NT and would like that 150 shutdown gold, please.
Yeah, he'll get it as well, because NT has no mana and has used Magical Journey. He had no flash, and Once that into a 2-for-1 at the end. That's nice for Xin Zhao.
Yeah, you can't complain. You're just like, well, I'll come back bot side. I'll maybe see if I can get my Krugs. Maybe. Oh, they've pushed up pretty aggressively. Oh, period. Hello.
It's going to be a shove in. Can Yu-Gi-Oh get anything? But that's a good wild growth. And Pyrian could not find the shuffle there. Well played by Yu-Gi-Oh. Ult down, but survives the attempted gank.
Didn't use flash either, which is really important to note, because once Yu-Gi-Oh uses that flash, so much kill pressure comes on as with NT securing the blue buff for the team.
Oh, genius. That's a great cosmic binding, and once we'll not be able to trade back blank steal of the blue buff on the other side, because this Bard is here to prove once again that he really is the carry of this particular team. Watching production go completely mental. Fun Nightmare fact number 2 of the day. Our Colorcaster come host detests Bard on a physical and spiritual level. And this is perhaps why you can see some seriously good stuff out of NT in this early game.
See, I'm glad that my only champion that does that to me is a Kali, and Kali's dropped off, which means I'm happy. But I mean, Bard hasn't been good for a while. Like, it's been a few seasons since he's been this good, really, in the metagame. So it's fine. It's allowed. I think this is allowed. Blank just securing this up, and Blank's had a really strong early game at the moment. A lot of pressure around the map, and has kind of neutered some of the really strong start that once had.
Yeah, it's been very efficient is the word I'll use, and that feels like
yeah.
Where he gets 2 objectives, he turns it for 1 counter gank, which gets him 2 assists, and that's good play out of this Lee Sin. It's got Sengoku Gaming up to about 1,000 gold lead as well, just off good laning stats. I'm looking at a 30 CS lead in that mid lane, about a 20-odd, 25-odd. Oh, actually, sorry. Let's be fair to Yuhi here. It's more like 15.
Sure. Yeah, it's about that. Yeah.
And that's pretty good stuff just straight from laning, and it's meant that Blank has been able to focus more on those objectives. Oh, going to see an engage in mid lane. This time there was no polymorph. This time there is a flash used. There's the wild growth. Now Blank under tower, being in trouble, has to flash out himself. The ignite is down. Will he survive? It's going to be damn close, but does just about get out. Does have to burn the flash, but it is flash for flash trade and the ignite down for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Could have gone better, could have gone worse. That's the second time they're going on to Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm wondering if they're going to stop at some point, because that's just never working. But Rayfaki and Apperman, hello?
There we go. Rayfaki finds a way out of the Infernal Trains using that Warrior Trickster, and it will force the World Ender out of Apperman, who was afraid of the Cyclone potential from Rayfaki. Good play out of the Wukong, even if Apperman has managed to get himself up to a bit of a CS lead off a good trade after the initial dive and teleport from earlier on in the game.
He's still got the so Blank has still got this Rift Herald buff to play with. It's going to be interesting to see which lane he's going to do it, especially as a finished jungle item has just come out from both of our junglers, as well as once having a little bit of an advantage as he has those booties and a cloth armor. Important to note, Apperman has built the Bramble Vest first item because against this heavy AD attack damage comp, it makes total sense. Oh, once though, hello.
Okay, once is going in, trying to find a bit of damage, but forces the magical journey, and that'll be it. Yuhi stepping forward, maybe looking to find something, but it's just Burning Core looking to come around and contest for this second dragon. Going in on Blank, forces half the HP bar of that Lee Sin, which is not a great start before this fight for Sengoku. It's a tempered fight. It's on to Yuhi. He's got flash, does use it. That will prevent the cosmic binding. Torimashi is over the wall, looking to find something, but Rayfaki is now teleported in. They're looking for more. The Whimsy's gone in. They're on to Period. He's getting knocked up, forced to flash. That's a decent Emperor's Divide to keep people away. But that Azir is now very, very low, and Burning Core turn their eyes back onto this dragon. There is still no flash on Yuhi. There is no cleanse on Yuhi. Maybe there's an option there. NT fighting off with Proud and Apperman, looking for something, but it will just be the dragon secured by Burning Core, who now look to retreat.
They've got huge number of advantage. And Burning Core, we're just going on to one pick, reset back around. Go on to a different pick, reset back around. Take this dragon. We must have a numbers advantage, or people are coming at us with only a few HP, like 100 to 200 HP. We can fight them efficiently once, though. Hello?
He's going super strong. Still has the Crescent Guard, uses it, and that will be a
Proud
at Apperman. But there is Proud coming in with a showstopper, and Blank has nothing to say about it and goes down to the set support. Proud set is still a force to be reckoned with. That is for sure. Masked Swan.
But we're going to see turret plates be taken in the spot lane for NT and Yutori Muashi, which is huge. They're going to just be able to kind of prevent the amount of gold that was just there. Channeling, though, Proud's feeling something, but nothing's going to happen. Proud set is so good on this stage. It's so impressive. This is a champion brand new Proud's repertoire coming into summer, and maybe he's the best support set in the region. It's a strong possibility.
Reiner as well as
Reiner is absolutely.
I know he got a Player of the Week accolade, maybe is perhaps the word I was looking for, from the LJL official stream for a fantastic 4-man play. But right now we're looking at a Rift Herald summon in the mid lane. That's what Burning Core tried to stop earlier on. Isn't stopped this time. That'll be more plates over to Sengoku Gaming. They have got 3 in this mid lane. They've got 2 in the bot lane. That's got Sengoku Gaming a tidy sum of gold.
Makes total sense. Needed to use that before turret plates were going down, as we do draw closer to turret platings dropping off. Might as well get it down somewhere. And mid's always a very good place to put the Rift Herald, because it allows you to get that early priority that can happen. If you open, we talk so much about this on our podcast, plug number 1 actually. Wow, only number 1. Where we talk about a lot around objective control, and that junglers have a lot of this control. This is why we highlight Blank and Want so often. Opening up the mid turret just gives that full priority over to you, meaning you just can really kind of take control of the map through just taking a mid turret.
Okay, so worth checking in on these gold. It is kind of where the gold leads we expect. It is the mid and bot lane difference for Sengoku Gaming. It is the top jungle difference for Burning Core. Still more of a favor to Sengoku Gaming right now, though, who do have that 1,000-ish gold lead still. No turrets have gone down as yet, but as we said, some decent turret plates picked up for Sengoku Gaming.
Definitely some decent turrets coming out. Proud somehow just dodging things even when it's blind. He's dodging getting blind hooks, doesn't matter. It's going to be interesting to see where this game progresses. We're going to definitely potentially see a fight in 2 minutes, though, as that Cloud Drake comes up, and we're on a Cloud Rift.
We are indeed. So it depends who's going to go for that Cloud Soul if they so wish. Of course, it's 1 dragon apiece, so it won't be an early soul for either team, notably. So that's something to keep our eyes on.
Yeah.
This mid lane CS difference is continuing to stack up, though. It's actually a 2-level difference versus this Lulu right now that Pyrian has managed to acquire, which is pretty damn amazing. Gonna see the second Rift Herald now side for Sengoku Gaming. Proud is around, looking to be a nuisance. Wants us by the blue buff, looking to try and come up. Will not be a free take, and both teams looking to try and come around and contest. Burning Core now restart the Rift Herald. Will Sengoku Gaming look to investigate? Maybe thinking about it, but
I think first turret's a better idea.
I kind of agree with you there, Mass One. Maybe that's what they'll index in, but with Pyrian retreating, it'll just be Yutori Miyashi free to push in this bot side and get himself that first turret gold.
Yeah, and he's being shadowed by Blank and NT, so he's got 0 to worry about. Oh, Raid Farky almost is able to grab that. Almost. It looks like they're going to try and trade top turret for bot turret. A little ambitious, but definitely doable, especially with Rift Herald. Oh, but NT wants Yuhi.
He gets caught in the cosmic, well, not the cosmic banner, the tempered fate rather, and what is being tempered is Yuhi's health bar brought very, very low and turned from living member of Burning Core into gold for Sengoku Gaming.
Jesus. So they did actually get that turret up at top lane, like I was saying. So they did trade bot for top. Obviously, bot turret was taken first, so the extra gold. Also, something we didn't actually get an opportunity to touch on is, oh god, Proud, okay, more fighting.
Well, we'll talk about it later. There will be a fight in mid lane instead, and that will be a dead Azir and a shutdown onto the set who picked that one up. That is a major pickup right now because it means that Pyrian will not be available for this Cloud Drake that is now live. Sengoku Gaming thought they picked up the kill that would secure them this. It won't be that way. Yuhi's back around, and Burning Core trade 1-for-1 in the extended play, and that earns them their second Drake here.
So, now that I think we're going to have a lull state, because it makes sense for a lull state to happen now, One thing that we noticed, when we said there was that 1k difference, about 720 of that gold was purely through turret plates. That's so much gold just coming through for the side of Sengoku. So we can actually discount a lot of their lead just due to getting that early turret plating because Burning Core didn't get that. Another thing of note, at the 50-minute mark, so 2 minutes ago, this is how much it's just how bloody this game is so far. Yuhi is on average about 14 CS down. We had that about double. It was about 30 CS down. Yutori Muashi was up 38 CS. That's insane advantage going over. And that's where a lot of this gold advantage is going to just be held. Yuhi is 0-2 at the moment, not having the same best game that we saw against CGA Initialize.
That gold is basically equated to an item difference, right? That is a Blade of the Ruin King to item parts for Yuhi right now. And that's pretty damn huge, frankly. We're still seeing the gold be at least relatively competitive. It's not like it's snowballing completely out. It's partly because people like Pyrian getting caught out pushing a little bit randomly in the mid lane there. And credit to Burning Core for looking to continually trade. They trade the mid lane to tier 1, which is not a great thing to be losing for sure. But of course, UJ on the bot side traded that for the bot lane tier 1. So things definitely at least competitive for Burning Core right now, even if Sengoku Gaming are finding those just fundamental based advantages.
Well, what's also important to note is they're playing Lulu. Lulu mid doesn't actually need anywhere near as much gold as Azir to really do what you need her to do in a lot of team fights and a lot of important fights around there. You'd actually far more prefer all the gold to always go into Proud, which is actually what's happened so far. So far, so good for the side of Burning Core, as Proud is going to be able to offer a lot more for the team outside of just damage, initiation, tankiness, as well as just offering a lot more versatility, whereas Yuhi is, Yu-Gi-Oh is playing far more of a supportive role in this composition, just due to how things have come out. It is going to be important that Yu-Gi-Oh does have enough AP to threaten damage, at least through the AP, but it's going to be good that Proud has just finished that first item, and this is support at 80 minutes. Not a normal thing to come, well, a normal opportunity, really.
The set is definitely going to be a little bit difficult to deal with. That's definitely one way of putting it. Infinity Edge is finally complete for Yuhi. Worth pointing out, that is a fairly big deal. Baron spawning in 45 seconds because we're heading towards that 20-minute mark. Don't think anybody will going for it early. But even though it is a massive CS lead to the mid bot of Sengoku Gaming, item completions are a little cheaper, notably for the Lulu. It's a 2-300 for the Artisans, it's a 2-100 for the Athenes. That's pretty damn cheap, whereas Pyrian's build significantly more expensive with things like the Nash's Tooth that need to come through. Flash in from Proud, though. There is the showstopper. Neutoria down way too far up in lane, and Proud's killer instinct is just all over this game right now.
500 gold for that kill over to Yuhi. That's so huge. That huge gold difference that was there, destroyed now. That puts Yuhi in such a better spot. He's going to be able to back now and get an item, at least for his troubles there. And as you said, Proud's killer instinct is just always on point. When does this man not have a good game on a support? I will raise you the fact that his set, while it is 1-1, has never looked bad. Ever.
Very, very true to say. He's had some great games on it, even when the rest of the squad's been struggling. Burning Core in this game, though, still down that 1,000 gold. Still kind of struggling to find advantages, but what they are doing is preventing Sengoku Gaming from getting any further ahead. It feels like it's been that gold lead for the last 10 damn minutes. And that is good news for Burning Core, and perhaps a bit of a frustrating point for Sengoku Gaming. Torimayashi, though, has kind of paid for his greed, and he's earned himself a Runan's Hurricane for probably sticking around for that last wave in mid lane.
Yeah, that's probably what caused him. He could have sold his Doran's Blade and get it, but no, he wanted to make sure he had it. Proud getting spotted out. Oh god, everybody wants to kill Proud.
It's done onto the Ash Arrow. They're going to leave him alone, though, and they don't finally find that kill. That dead man's plate he's earned himself makes him surprisingly tanky to all the damage coming over the wall. It will mean he's going to have to back and reset before this Drake, though, and it means that Sengoku Gaming get a chance to set up for it.
Yeah, Relic Shield fully completed as well, gives extra tankiness over to a set, so much is going... It's going to take a lot to kill Proud, which I think wasn't the expectation from Sengoku when they used the Ash Ultimate to actually try and kill him. hugely important to come out. What is of noteworthy, though, the CS difference that has really come out. It's equal in the top lane. It's an advantage for once, but this mid lane is now almost ballooned to a certain 100 level, which has a special name if we hit it.
It does. We're not quite at that flame horizon point, but it's getting concerningly close. In fact, if Pyrion picks up more of this wave, I think he might just about get there. Second Drake did then go over to Sengoku. Well, they gaming there. They will pick up another. So that's good news for them. They pick up that Infernal Drake, I believe. No, it can't have been. That was an air Drake they just picked up. It's just not been updated on the scoreboard. Keep our eyes on that. But for now, UGO looking to step forwards. Doesn't find that much because that's a great cosmic binding from NT that prevents any further damage. And Sengoku Gaming hold jealously to their mid lane tier 1. They're going to try and hold on to that for as long as they can. Burning Core, though, are posturing around this Baron. It's early into the game, but they're looking to just threaten. They've got position behind Sengoku Gaming. We've got to see a reverse of those. Flash in, Hex Flash there from Proud. Does get a decent showstopper. It's a big haymaker at the end as well. And the fight now continuing. Proud pretty low. Sengoku Gaming trying to disengage, and they do so. It's flashes from the bot lane as Sengoku Gaming, though. Just for the flash of Proud and for Rayfaki. So overall win in summoners, but flash is kind of equally traded.
Well, to add to that point, exhaust and heal also used on that on both the bot laners of Sengoku. So really worthwhile in all senses of the phrase for Burning Core there. They took a lot out. Proud is still hungry for a kill, apparently. Just wants it, and they're taking this Baron.
They are, and with Proud just being a nuisance, holding people off. Baron's down to about 2/3. Blank's on the wrong side of the map. They don't know this is happening. He's not going to be here, Mass1.
He's running over.
is now around. They're going to try and get there. He's got to find his way. It's down to a 3rd HP. There comes the blue trinket. Burning Core might have to try and pull away. That Baron is so damn low, but they can't stick around to finish because of the health bars. Flippin' heck, that was a bold call that very nearly played off for Burning Core. They didn't get any teleports out of it, but all they lose is time.
The reason they actually pulled off that aggressively is partly because they didn't have any vision on Blank. They didn't know where he was. They knew he wasn't in their top side, but he could have easily been coming through mid. He could have also been coming through the mid lane, partly through there. There was a lot of options where he could have been coming from that they wouldn't have known if he was there. To Lee Sin, he can jump over walls. We all know that very well. So why they pulled off, because while we have omniscient information, it's a bit scary if you're Burning Core and Blank comes out of nowhere and knocks up your whole team with a dragon kick. What's it called?
It's Dragon's Rage.
Dragon's Rage. Oh, so close. So close.
And we've also got to keep an eye on a couple things, because while that Lulu has got her way to 2 items, it is a new dawn, a new day, a red day for Pyrion, who has come his way up to a flame horizon now. We were calling that early on, and that might be how Sengoku Gaming find their way to victory in this game. Just pure weight of fundamental CSing, getting them 2 item advantages. Not really matched up so far in strict item to items right now, but the expense of those items for Sengoku Gaming is kind of what we've been poking at. Sengoku Gaming have position around this Baron right now, might be looking for a bit of a fight, but once diving in with the Audacious Charge, takes a lot of Blank's health bar, throws out the 3 Talon Strike, but little else to be found as Burning Core forced their way back into the river on the top side.
So there's a huge advantage there, but what's worth noting is Blank is 2 levels below Once. Once it just seems to always find a way to get an advantage in levels, which helps in that smite fight that we constantly see. Black Cleaver also over there with double Ruby Crystal. Interesting build path. I'm wondering where they're going with that. But not only Hammer or... Yeah, I guess maybe, or maybe production help us here. I'm trying to figure out Warmogs maybe.
So we've seen maybe the Warmogs. I could see a Dead Man's Plate being an option as well. We'll have to wait and see. Sterax is what.
Oh, of course,
and
yeah.
I can see that being a great option as well. Makes a lot of sense with this.
They're doing it again.
Does want to be using it. They are doing it again. They want to force this fight. They know they're strong. They know they've got the level advantage on the jungle as well. It is an uneven smite fight, and with Proud around this time with Showstopper, Blank is going to have a significantly harder time of getting around and dealing with this. Can Proud buy enough time, though, is the question we must ask ourselves as the teleport is coming in for Apperman. And that is what Burning Core were looking for. They pulled away from the Baron, having burned both teleports from Apperman and Pyrion.
So they've done this twice. They've got the advantage the second time round, not the first time round. They're really going to need to find at least a pick or something at some point because they're wasting a lot of time doing all of this. They haven't actually found an opportunity while doing all these baits, and they're giving over another dragon.
They are. This would be Cloud Soul Point for Sengoku Gaming, but Burning Core will trade it for the mid lane tier 1 that has been up for oh so long. And this is going to be an interesting game. Burning Core now moving back over to the Baron Pit. They don't seem to care all that much about the Cloud Dragons right now. They are much more focused around this Baron Pit with this Xin Zhao that is going Sterex, has got super far ahead, that's been taking lane farm in place of Yu-Gi-Oh! Hints of that funnel comp kind of coming out here from Burning Core and the way they're playing.
Hints of a funnel comp coming in. All 5 members of Burning Core are here. Rayfarky and Proud offering kind of barges as it's 2k down. Baron's going to get stopped by NT.
Yeah, that is the Temper Fate coming out. We're going to see what goes on. We're going to see whether they can secure it. And that is now a secure for Burning Core. Proud does get out. Flashes out as well. Going to see whether the engage for Pyrion doesn't land anything because of clutch flashes. But Burning Core desperately, look at Yuhi's health bar. He's got very little left. It's a flash in from Utorimachi for the slow. Once will go in and buy some time. But Burning Core need to get the backs off. Well, not quite enough. That is 2 now. The retreat here does come out once. Once goes down, Yu-Gi-Oh goes down, blank flash to try and stop the last back, but it is not going to happen. 3 people get out with Baron buff from Burning Core.
That was huge. I thought Yu-Gi-Oh was going to get out with that. So we see this come through the Ash. So they've got a Hawkside. They know what's going on here. And when does NT do it? Oh, beautiful done. So Proud does a huge one. Just gets kicked back into the team. What's important to note, though, is Proud is able to get rid of Blank, and they're able to secure that Baron. Now, this is huge. Pyrion missing that. Oh, and you assume the team is able to get out here. Problem is, they are able to slow once, and once realizes he has to turn. Takes the, 2 members so low. Utorimachi and Pyrion just can't do much, and, wow, that cue from Blank there to find it. And also immediately flashes. He's like, I want it. I'm hungry. Let's do it. Couldn't find it, but still 2 kills, evens it up. Gold lead that Sengoku had is now being evened up. Gonna be interesting to see how the rest of this goes. All the flashes down except for NT now on Sengoku. Similar space, but for Yu-Gi-Oh now on the side of Burning Core.
Indeed, and we're seeing the Death Dance being built up towards for both AD carries here. We're looking at the Baron push that will be coming in for Burning Core, and we're looking at a lot of flashes burned from both squads. Sengoku Gaming burned a lot to try and get more kills at the end of that. They got 1 for their time, but Blank couldn't secure the other, and that means that any fights that will continue would be without a few key summoners for a number of members. I'm looking at the AD carries in particular here, who are Sans Flash.
So currently this has not been much of a Baron for Burning Core. They tried so much for this. Rayfarky's just getting...
He's in a bit of trouble, but does try and find the Cyclone. Doesn't find it. Has got to go gold, but now he is desperately low. Doesn't quite go down because that is a big wild growth that saves his life. Now Burning Core on the retreat. The Tempered Fate lands on Yuhi one more time. There was no flash to saving, and Burning Core with health bars very, very low. Need to retreat from Sengoku Gaming. Here comes Apperman with the World Ender, trying to find some more. Can't quite get it. Once now in there, but gets stunned by the Cosmic Binding. Finds the Crescent Guard, but he's going to go down, and Sengoku Gaming are finding the fight. They're going to trade forward, trying to get a little bit more. But that is going to stifle the Baron push as once finds a couple key abilities. The Cosmic Binding, the Tempered Fate. So well played in that fight. And that Baron buff means Jack all now for Burning Core.
That's a big yikes from me, bro. Well, this is kind of what I was hinting towards in my Rap God story time, where I thought... regardless of a lead that Burning Core could have on anybody, it doesn't really matter. And the reason for that is Sengoku are arguably maybe our best team fighting team. They're so good at stacking. They're also so good at collapsing. Rayfarky getting caught out here is uncharacteristic of them. Almost pays for their sins, but is able to escape through a Lulu ultimate coming in clutch with a shield. Though the Tempered Fate, Yuki is also very fortunate to arguably get out at this exact spot. Blank didn't have his Q up, so part of the reason why. Appamen then forces the Rayfarky to ult, and well, what are you doing there? The rest of your team's on the opposite side, gets collapsed on, and with that said, now they've lost a lot of their damage and engaged, so he has to give it up, and he just got deleted before anyone could even back him up. The problem was, Yu-Gi-Oh! Had already ulted, so not a lot was going to come up to back him up.
All right, going in on Blank there, forces only the safeguard out. And this Cloud Drake is spawning in 5 seconds. This would be Cloud Soul for Sengoku Gaming if they can secure it. Burning Core, though, do have position, but another clutch Tempered Fate onto Yuhi. That's a decent Crescent Guard. There's the stopwatch, but it's now a re-engage for Foundry Finds a good face breaker. And the fight going a little bit better for Burning Core. It's a decent use of the Emperor's Divide, though. And it's a shutdown. It's 2 kills. It's more as Sengoku Gaming find 4 men for none with the weight of gold on Pyrian coming up in Sengoku's favor this fight around.
I feel bad for Proud there. He did everything he needed to do, and one shuffle denied everything. You can't help but feel for the guy. He did it exactly what you're meant to do on set. Everything, and Sengoku are just going to end the game off of that one play. That was huge. Sengoku just destroyed the team fight. I said they had to do something, and well, yeah.
All right, well, there you have it. Sengoku Gaming on the back of a big team fight around the Dragon Pit will take down Burning Core here. It was close until it kind of wasn't at the end.
That's one way to put it, Initialize. That's one way to put it. But with that said, we've got some thoughts about this game. We've got our predictions to reflect upon. We're going to go over to a short break. Join us in just a moment.
Game 2 consigned to the record books, and it will be Sengoku sending Burning Core to a 1-1 week, but they were made to fight for it. In particular, one person stopped time and time again, and that was NT on that bar. Gents, let's have a talk about those tempered fates.
Man alive, Yuhi was just forever flashless because he was trying to stay away from those temper fates, and when his flash was down, it was easy pickings for that bard. I think I saw 3 to 4 ults where Yuhi just was out of the fight and caught out of position because of NT's incredible ults.
I get it now. Burning Core were unfortunately Batman versus Superman because they didn't have Flash. It wasn't the Justice League.
Sure. Yeah, NT had some really stellar ults. It was also just playing around the map beautifully, was finding some really good pickup spots, and just denied a bunch of opportunities that Once was really going for, which is a big part when Once is trying to get a lot of golden kills. If you're denying that through just the ultimate, it's pretty good.
And start as you mean to go on, Once was finding opportunities, and he was going across the map. And as much as Sam was saying in his story time earlier for Burning Core, he said, lo and behold, Yuhi somehow gets the fellows. Well, that happened as part of the prophecy fulfilled. And also, Once outpaths the pathing jungler. And he was helped by his team, I think, because as we kind of pointed out halfway through the game, a lot of lane farm was going over to Once. So, well, I'm happy for either of you to state this point. What did you make of Once and his impact on this game?
Early on was very effective. We saw kind of what he wanted to do, the early kill onto Appman, kind of pushing up a little bit blindly. We've seen that from the top laner before, got them pretty far ahead. There were some good trades onto particularly Blank Empyrean around mid lane, around some dragon fights that kept Burning Core kind of in and around those dragon fights early on. And once he started getting the lane farm, this guy became a huge level discrepancy, which meant the Burning Core could start indexing around the Baron fights, knowing they had the smite advantage.
And speaking of those Baron players and having the smite advantage, we did see that Baron go down to Burning Core later into that game, not before a couple of baits were played around and kind of forced Sengoku's hand. But the Baron play didn't really go to plan, did it, Lexi?
No, not at all. And part of my problem almost wonders did they actually have a plan if it went that badly? They were almost always on the assumption they were always going to get four to 5 men out at all times. And what happens if we only get 3 of us out? What do we do in that world? And that was definitely not a world Burning Core were thinking about. I'm also not hugely sure of the baits being perfectly played. They didn't get anything for the first bait. They had to just pull off. The second bait, they did get the Apperman TP. That's huge. But they didn't really wait for him to be showing up on the map somewhere else. They just immediately went back for it again and then had to fight a 5v4 because was it good? The idea was there, but I'm not fully sold on the execution part.
So the ideas were there, but the execution was maybe not. However, the execution for Sengoku was pretty good. One stat, which I'm actually going to go look up because I did kind of write it down in there. Yuhi, on average, has a minus 14 CS difference to 15. That's already pretty bad. This game, minus 38. That is double that. Over double that. It's almost triple that. And this kind of goes to show Sengoku, their fundamentals in lane, around objectives, around vision as well, and of course, NT had a really good Bard game to help with that, are just so far above so many teams in the LJL right now. So Sam, I'm going to go back over to you. What did you make of Sengoku's fundamentals as holistically as a unit this game?
Well, I think you kind of covered it there pretty well. It's just on weight of CS, Sengoku Gaming consistently had an advantage. The Azir, even before the lane farm was going over to Once, was up a significant amount of CS. Once the lane farm started going over to Once, he ended up over 100. He hit that Flame Horizon mark. We saw what it was meaning for the Ashe in the bot lane, where it just hit this point where even though your Xin Zhao and your Wukong were doing pretty well, the carries of Sengoku Gaming, the Azir and the Ashe, who do scale really well, who when it had got over 30 minutes, were just doing so much damn work in those team fights because of the gold choices that Burning Core had made and because of Sengoku Gaming's just strict fundamentals.
So, fundamentals will come in very handy later in the day for Sengoku because they're going to be going up against Detonation Focus Me. Burning Core, however, have finished their week 4 and they have gone 1-1. So looking forward to this game against DFM. Do you think Burning Core can stretch the right muscles for Sengoku here? Do you think they'll be confident after this game, or are there a couple of worries because of that early game, Lexi?
I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. Different games, different types of teams. DFM play far more controlled base. If you think about it from almost a card game analogy, DFM are basically our control mages, whereas I see CGA as our super mega aggro, like unleashed the beasts. Like, we want to just kill everybody as fast as possible. They're relentless. They will pick every fight. We've seen them do
I see them as red-green. I see CJ as red-green.
Oh, I see them as redback Rakdos. Like, they just want to kill them, or they're going to die very quickly. We saw them die very quickly against Burning Core. It's kind of a coin toss. In theory, the aggro matchup is favored, but Control, if they get an edge, they'll take it a mile, and it will go that way.
So we'll be looking forward to that later in the day, because of course we do have CJ versus DFM next up on the ticket. However, we're going to just wrap up this game right now before we go over to that side. Any final thoughts on this match which just went by, guys?
I think Sengoku Gaming played their fundamentals well, but potentially showed that you can attack them early on. If you can get under Blank Skin, if you can get under Appleman's skin early, maybe there were some options to take this team apart.
Maybe some options in Alexi.
I mean, I'm just excited to see. Burning Core went 1-1. Definitely an upset in my predictions. So I was expecting different outcomes, which means there's always more to be excited about. And I'm looking forward to the next 2 games.
As I. So moving forwards, we will, of course, have Detonation focus me for the next 2 games. So all of you LJL international supporters, you will have seen this team so much over the last few years. Come see them in their home region. And they're taking on 2 of the contenders to the throne up at that top of the table. Everyone now tied, I believe, at 4-2, 5-2. I believe, yeah, no. So I believe that so Detonation are coming in at 4-2. Sengoku and CJ will be coming in at 5-2. So this will be a matchup to determine who can keep pace with V3 Esports. But to see how that all unfolds, you're gonna have to stick around, aren't you? So see you soon.